YouTube, how we doing? PPS here. YouTube play of the day. We're getting ready to roll on this small college basketball slate. Pretty small slate for a Monday. It was kind of loaded for Sunday, so kind of expect to see this little amount of games throughout. But a lot of low level basketball being played today. But we have a few spots that are jumping out to me. I'll have one for you guys here today, and we'll get through a quick recap here of the show plays. Did lose my first 1.5 of the season. That was kind of gross. Second half, of course, flew over. So I played the second half in that game as well, and just flew over. I think it was 84.5. It flew over the second half over. But the first half ended up with 68 points. Couple 3 or 4 minute lulls that just don't usually happen in these types of games. The pace was there. Shot making was not. The fouls were not either, which is unfortunate. But it was not my favorite first half to watch there. So we are back today, getting ready to roll for the small college basketball slate. So that moves us to 8-6. 0.6 units there. We also got a nice little spot on our DeBansa line. We're seeing that move a little bit as well. So we got DeBansa's down to 12-1. He is actually now second. I still don't understand how Boozer is minus 1,800. I think that is absolutely preposterous. That is horrible. I don't know why, but hey, I guess that's just Duke. I guess it's if BYU wins any of these late games, these big games, now that Richie Saunders went out, he's going to be putting up some big boy numbers. Like, he's going to be having to put up huge ones. This weekend, I think he went 20, 14, and 8, almost triple-doubled in that matchup against Colorado. So, yeah, losing Richie Saunders for the year is tough. I don't expect BYU to do too much. I'm just hoping they can squeak out the games they're supposed to win and get a couple that they're not supposed to. I know that Iowa State game is going to be awful now, absolutely awful, because he's going to be pretty much probably doubled the entire game. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with that team going forward. But, yeah, it kind of sucks that we don't have Richie Saunders in there to kind of take some of that offensive burden away. So, yeah, let's get right into today's action. I got one play for you guys on the smaller slate. It's going to be Marshall over 149.5 at minus 108. This is on DraftKings right now, and let's dive into it. So, really, no. That was I'm recapping Video Beast. I'm actually recapping. This was Saturday, so I was recapping Saturday's bet. Yeah, I try to recap every bet. I try to recap every single bet we put on here, especially show plays, especially plays where my face is on it. I just try to make sure that we have everything there. So, data wise, and you guys don't think, not that you guys do, but I know some people in the industry, shade it a little bit. I try to put every bet out there and make sure that you guys, get to see all my plays. I really try not to miss a day on the recap. So that was actually from Saturday's slate against Baylor. So that's my bad. Yeah, dude. I mean, I don't know what you want me to say. I don't get to go out there and play. I hit the 6 prior to that. I don't know if you followed the other 6. If you didn't, I'm sorry. That is not unfortunately on me. That is not my fault. I've been putting these out for 5 years on YouTube. So can show you all my numbers on all of these, and we've been pretty green on show plays. So, yeah, it's an ugly one. And then you see the second half, and they score 28 points in 5 minutes. So, just open shots being hit. Yeah, my thing is if my energy or my personality changed due to a loss, it would be tough. College basketball, man. There are some guys that are open and should make shots, and then there's games that you have the under, and you're like, holy shit, these dudes are making everything. So it's college basketball. I wish we could change it, but hopefully today we get to, right? That's why I try to recap everything, because it usually, long term, we'll find a way to even itself out. So I'm going to be rolling with Marshall. Yeah, I didn't even get to my breakdown. So we get to talk some Marshall, South Alabama. I'm not that high on the South Alabama team. I know they're in first place in their conference out there in the Sun Belt. They're 9-4 in conference, but man, they've pretty much lost to every good team in the conference, right? I mean, you just look at the top 4 teams: App State, Troy, Marshall, Texas State. They haven't played Marshall yet, which is just weird. That this is their first matchup with Marshall. Texas State, right? They lost 67-65. App State, they lost 65-57. Troy 59-49, right? I mean, when they step up, they lose. I'm looking at the rest of their schedule, and they have to play Marshall, Texas State, and Troy in their next 3 games. That is very tough. And my thing here is, you want to look at pace. I understand South Alabama does not play fast, but Marshall's going to push this, dude. Like, Marshall's 4.5-point favorite against the number 1 team in this conference for a reason. I think they make this team run and gun. I think that the stats on not fouling is going to be kind of changing here. South Alabama is the number 1 team in the country in terms of possessions with fouls. I think it's like 18%, which is very, very good. Unfortunately for us, Marshall's going to run enough, and they foul enough for both teams. They're bottom 10 in that category in terms of personal foul percentage. So it's tough. It's going to be really tough for South Alabama to be able to not only just get free throws, but they're going to be able to pretty much dictate the pace at home. Like I said, you don't see it very often where the number 5 team in the conference is 5-point favorites against the number 1 team. But like I said, I think it's just a schedule spot here. Also, this is the only time they play Marshall. Marshall, if they win, will be tied with South Alabama, and actually will be higher because they will have the tiebreak with South Alabama for head-to-head. So I think the pace-wise will be dictated by Marshall. We've seen Marshall get into some of these games with these teams that do play slow. We talked about Appalachian State shutting down the South Alabama team. They played 88-81 in a home game against them. And you look at some of these other teams, Texas State, that was like 120 in points. It was 140 against Marshall because they are going to run and gun. I don't think that South Alabama is going to have any sort of ability to slow down. I think it's Wyatt Fricks and Matt Van Komen. Van Komen is 7'4", plays 23 minutes. He's going to have no one on that South Alabama team that matches up. They have 2 forwards that play a lot of their big minutes, which is 35 and 27 minutes there. But Adam Olsen is that big dude for him. That dude's 6'8". Like, what are you going to do against a 7'4" guy that weighs 50 pounds more than you in the spot? I really don't know. And I think that it's going to be a game where Marshall scores pretty much at will. I know South Alabama does have, some numbers that kind of back them up, but they're top 10 in luck, right? They play slow because I think they know their defense is not that good. And we're gonna see this game play at Marshall's pace. And if it plays at Marshall's pace, I'm expecting this to get closer to 160 in this one, because Marshall does not play a boring style of basketball. We're gonna see a lot of threes. We're gonna see a lot of pace. Always a top 100 team in terms of adjusted tempo. Top 150 offense, bottom 200 defense. As always, should be fun. Yeah, I don't mind Marshall team total over. I don't mind it. My issue is, I just mentioned a little bit before, was the amount of fouls on the Marshall side. I think Marshall wins personally. I do, but I want to kind of have the insurance of, damn, South Alabama got to the line 35 times in this game and was able to, make those. They're a horrible free throw shooting team. That's the only thing that sucks. But the guys that will be playing a lot of minutes, like that Olsen guy I mentioned who played 36, is 83%. Law is 75%, who also plays a decent amount of minutes. I don't understand how you have a guard who shoots, who's just this bad at shooting, that Chaz Harris dude. He's just been, I don't get it. He's been horrible from three. He doesn't shoot the free throw well. So I'm like, dude, what does this guy do well? I guess, but just pretty much gets downhill and shoots a lot. So he gets a lot of layups and drives. But Marshall's defense just is not good. That's the only reason I would kind of have hesitations on just taking Marshall straight up, because I think this game, stays relatively close, probably 5 to 7 points. But I think both sides should be able to score. Marshall's defense is bad. So I think we should get a lot of free throws on the South Alabama side. Marshall fouls a lot. And I think that Marshall will be able to run this game up. So sign me up. I'm going to be rolling with Marshall over 149.5 in that game. If you guys have any questions, now would be the time there to throw those in. But minus 108 on DraftKings. I think it's minus 115 on FanDuel so far. But not a ton of games here. I guess I can talk a little bit because I know that people will probably want to know my thoughts here on the Houston-Iowa State game. Obviously a fantastic game. I'm leaning Houston in this game. I think that Houston is the better team here significantly. I get it. It's in Iowa State. Iowa State's home arena is awesome. They get you to play their style of basketball. But, man, this total is a Houston type of game, dude. If we're going to take a team to out-physical someone, to out-play better defense, there are very few teams that I would want over Houston. And maybe Arizona, just because they can shoot the outside and play a little bit more finesse. But I think Houston is just a little better version of Iowa State. And Iowa State needs to make threes, right? Iowa State's going to need to make threes to be able to score, because you're not scoring in the paint on Houston. They got Tugler, who, is close to Defensive Player of the Year these last couple of years. I think it's going to be a really tough spot for Iowa State unless they can make threes. And again, you lean into that and say, okay, maybe they can get hot. But my issue is Houston just does such a good job at locking up on the outside. There's very few teams that have the ability to guard the outside and inside as well as Houston. 31% from three. They're top 50 in that category in terms of allowing 3-point percentage. So 31%, pretty good. Just looking at their numbers on the road, it doesn't change a ton. Obviously, defense travels. That's why it's always nice. They actually play better on the road, 30.5% 3-point percentage against on the road there. Houston first half, I always love those. I always do. I guess for me, if I would take like a full game Iowa State team total under. I think I would lean into a little bit more. I'm just pulling up the first one, 63.5. Yeah, it's not horrible. I actually thought it would be a little bit worse. I almost don't mind Houston at 30. I think Houston's just 30, isn't it? 30.5. I think Houston can score 30 on Iowa State. I'm in my opinion, I think that Houston's just a better version of Iowa State. I mean, you can go into, Milan, guy, he's obviously from around my area, about 5 minutes away. Really good shooter, really good 3-point shooter. But again, I just told you, he's gonna have some dudes up on him the entire game. It's gonna be a very nip and tuck type of game here. Milan, I think, is the highest point prop, but Fleming's Sharp, studs, right? I mean, Fleming's is right there in that. So I don't know. I think I would rather lean into the full game. But I don't mind it. 63.5 just kind of scares me a little bit, just because all it takes is one guy to hit a couple threes and we're kind of screwed. But in the full game, there's a lot more lulls in like that 14 to 10 minutes in the second half, where it's like kind of a dead zone where it kind of kills overs. And if they keep scoring in that, you got it. If you don't, those are the ones that kind of make you sweat on ones that feel like they're going to be easy ones. So, I think that would be maybe not a bad one. Yeah, it's a made-for-TV event. That's a made-for-TV type of game. I believe the first game of that is the Syracuse-Duke game, which is just shit. Horrible. I don't want to watch that game at all. I'm just pretty much cheering against Boozer so Debanza can push his numbers up a little bit. But they have to play both of those games, and I don't want to watch Duke play all these scrub ACC teams. That's what I'm saying. The ACC is down. I'm not really a fan of many of the teams there this year when it comes to the tournament either. So All right, guys, I'm going to be popping out here. I don't see any more questions in the chat, but we got Marshall over 149.5 at minus 108 on the show here for our play of the day. And hopefully we can get another one, right? 6 for our last 7. Hopefully it'll be 7 for our last 8, and we can keep things rolling going forward. Best of luck on all your plays tonight, guys. I know there's not much out there on the board, but if you are playing anything else, best of luck, and hopefully we can cash a couple tickets. So have a good one, guys. We'll be back tomorrow talking more college basketball.